What I am about to say should at least give you a hunch that an Oblivion remake might be announced at the Switch 2 event. But if you aren't convinced after that, stick around. I've got more. Don't you worry. So here's one of the main reasons I think we're going to be seeing an Oblivion announcement and release all in the month of April. Microsoft is getting very invested with Nintendo. And guess who's a part of Microsoft? That's right, Bethesda. Microsoft games are 100% going to be announced at the Switch 2 event, and Bethesda Softworks now functions as a publisher under Microsoft. Surprisingly though, not many people know that. It makes sense why they would announce Oblivion at this event. Can you imagine one of the most iconic RPGs of all time dropping out of nowhere? I would like us to dive into what this could mean for Bethesda, the Elder Scrolls franchise as a whole, and for Nintendo. So rumors are pretty crazy that during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct event, Bethesda might just shadow drop a remake of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, no. And I'm gonna be honest, you're probably right. But I have some pretty compelling reasoning I'm going to tell you in a few minutes that you're going to want to listen to. So before you start breathing super heavily, just hear me out for a minute. Just hear me out, and then you can scold me in the comments. And if the event rolls around and we hear nothing, you can come back to this video and call me a silly duty head. I'll be the punching bag. I'll be alright, I promise. I'm literally uploading this video the night before the Switch 2 event, so I'll either feel like $1 million by lunch that day, or an absolute clown. So let's go ahead and tackle the remake subject. What does this mean for Bethesda? Releasing an Oblivion remake, especially as a shadow drop, showcases that they are listening to fans, at least a little bit. It might tie together some of that distance that it seems like Bethesda has with their audience. It's definitely a step in the right direction for Bethesda as a company, and it might help to better set the stage for their future titles. And yes, I know that their main reason for dropping a remake is obviously money. That's not even really an argument of they're doing it for the money. Dude, they're just doing it for the money. They just want to get paid. No shit. Every company, literally every company does that, regardless of how good or bad their product is. Of course it's for the money. Back to my point though. I honestly believe that Bethesda wouldn't do an Oblivion remake though if people either A, didn't ask for it, or B, the majority of folks who played the original didn't like the game. So let me talk about a few reasons why I'm leaning towards a confirmation at the event. This one's a little bit iffy, so hear me out. There's an up-and-coming leaker guy named Detective Seeds who tweeted literally just a couple days ago the following message. I believe the Oblivion remake is going to be released by the end of next week, likely Thursday, April 3rd. Then 13 days later, Indiana Jones on the 16th for PlayStation 5, and then 13 days later, Horizon 5 on the 29th for PlayStation 5. I absolutely do not agree with this. I believe it would be kind of ridiculous, and it's honestly way too far-fetched for them to announce a remake and then release it the next day. It's kind of too insane to be true, but I guess that's almost the definition of a shadow release or a shadow drop, however you want to call it. And that also doesn't make a lot of sense either, because if I'm not mistaken, the Switch 2 isn't even supposed to be available until June, or at least around that time during the summer. So it doesn't make a lot of sense that they would announce Oblivion with a release date of the next day when people can't even play it on Switch 2 yet. See, I'm not completely crazy. I still have a small amount of rationality left in me. Besides Detective Seeds, the timing for this announcement fits perfectly. And I'm not even sure that there will be another opportunity like this anytime soon to announce it. I think it's a move that could reinvigorate interest in the Elder Scrolls franchise, especially as we all eagerly await news on the next Elder Scrolls game. Plus, I think that Nintendo and Bethesda collaborating, it's a nice gesture towards, I think, broadening its reach across multiple platforms. I mean, they already have Skyrim on Switch, which introduced the game to a lot of new players who've never really played RPGs to that caliber. So I think that introducing an upgraded version of Oblivion may fuel a new wave of people who want those classic RPGs that we all miss so much. I think that an Oblivion remake could serve almost as a bridge, rekindling nostalgia and introducing new players to the series. It's a reminder of the series' evolution, and I think it could set the stage really well for future titles. I mean, I think it might bring back some of the hope that we've lost over the last decade, honestly, with Bethesda. I feel like most fans, including myself, I feel like we think of Bethesda as this lost kind of company, like we should just give up on them. But this actually might be perfect timing for them, considering the awful feedback and release responses that Bethesda has been getting since Fallout 4, and there's no doubt that it's been a steady decline since Fallout 4 came out. I feel as though most Bethesda fans around the ages of 24 to 30 resonate heavily with that statement, and I think they would agree that it's felt like a line graph that's steadily going down. I think that an enhanced version of a game that most of us on this channel love, like Oblivion, would absolutely fan the flame for us as fans. Plus, with the rumored enhancements, it might just feel like a brand new game altogether, but I hope not too much of a new game though, because like I've said before, I hope this remake could serve as almost as a perfect balance of old school charm with new school technology and better features such as improved UI, animation, sound design, and more like that. I'm hoping that the game gets a well-deserved facelift. I just hope that they don't tamper with the bone structure too much. Now let's address how I actually feel about all of this, what I think will happen at the event, and some pros and cons. We'll start with the pros and cons. On the positive side, I think a remake could introduce the game to a new generation, like I said before. Updated graphics, better mechanics, making it more accessible. I think that it also allows for the correction of any past shortcomings. Not complete forgiveness, but I think it's a good start. Any start at this point is a good start for them to mend past failures. And I think that another positive to this is providing a more polished experience that I think that even older fans can hopefully appreciate. But there's always a risk that, too much changes might not sit well with purists. Alterations to our favorite quests or mechanics, I think, could lead to backlash if not handled with care. As for the negative impacts, I'm going to be honest and say that I don't think that there's really that many negative impacts except for one. The only negative impact that I can think of is that it just sucks. The remake comes out, it sucks. That's it. If it sucks, then, what do you want me to say? That's just a bigger hole for Bethesda to try to claw their way out of. So what do I think is going to happen? I'm 50-50. With everything that we know, and with much thought, I am honestly leaning towards the idea that we may just see it at this event. The timing, the leaks, the fact that Microsoft is trying to work more with Nintendo, and just the overall feeling that Bethesda needs a win. It's been too long, man. As for the other half of me that doesn't believe we'll see it at the event, I've just been burned too many times, dude. I've been burned time and time again, mostly with me getting my hopes up that we hear some more news about Elder Scrolls 6. But for the past 10 or so big gaming events like this one, I've just been on the edge of my seat, patiently waiting for something big, and by the end of the event, I'm in bed eating ice cream and taking a sick day. So if you want to know how I feel, I am both anxious/excited, but I'm also fully prepared to be disappointed in a way that doesn't impact the rest of my day too much. In conclusion, if the rumors hold true, this could mark a significant moment in Bethesda's history. An Oblivion remake dropping during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct event would be a pretty significant nod to both innovation and nostalgia. So, cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your eyes, but not for too long, they might get stuck that way. And let's hope for the best, but not too much. I really want to know what you guys think. If you even get a chance to comment, I know that the event is going to be the next day after this video is uploaded, but I still want to get your thoughts. Even after the Nintendo Direct, if you decide to come back and watch this video, let me know what you thought of the event, and I'll see you later. See ya.